Here are 5 hot takes I have about Disney World. Do you agree? Can you change my mind? Let's see. Hi, I'm Shannon from WDW Prep School.com, and I am here today to give 5 opinions that I have found that I have that other people don't. But I wonder how many of these things you actually might agree with or might be able to change my mind on. So let's start with the first one, which is I don't know if I'm ever going to stay at the Riviera Resort again. Now, this one seems to be you either love it or you hate it. My issue with Riviera Resort is the lack of a lobby. I feel like when I show up, I'm just kind of walking into a building that isn't welcoming me. I don't exactly know where to go on arrival. And the small rooms, like if you book the smallest rooms, they're really expensive and really small. And generally the lack of seating. It kind of feels like a generic hotel, except for some Disney art that is fun to look at. However, what I do love about it is the food. So if I'm staying on a Skyliner resort, Pop Century, I'm hopping over there and I'm going to all the restaurants there. I love the quick service. I love pool bar. I love the restaurants. I love the character meal. I love everything there about the food, but everything else is a little bit difficult. I know people that love staying here not only love the food, but the Skyliner access, which of course is a nice perk. They have their own Skyliner station. And parents in particular seem to really like the pool area because there's a nice like enclosed splash pad space. Plus it's right next to the main pool. So parents seem to really like that setup. But for me, I don't know. Number 2, summer and holiday crowds are the worst behaved by far. Podcast listeners won't be surprised to hear me say this because I'm always talking about how the vibes are so different in the summer and holidays. And maybe you agree or don't agree. If you are listening to this, I'm assuming you're not included because this seems to be non-planners who just kind of show up and aren't really aware of what to expect in terms of crowds, and they get frustrated, end up in lines because they aren't planners. But if you are a planner, this time of year when these badly behaved guests are there are actually a really great time to go because they don't know how to plan, so you can. So you're not going to see them using mobile order very much. You're not going to see them using lightning lanes very much. They certainly don't have a touring plan. So if you're a rope dropper, you could be out before they are. So you can use it to your advantage, but you are more likely to see people cutting in line, starting fights, doing things that you just wouldn't other times of year. Number 3, I think a lot of quick service locations are better than table service locations. Now, I know that table service gets most of the attention in part because that's what character meals are, and a lot of people are going for character meals, totally get that. But in terms of just good food, quick service can be not only better food, but easier because you don't have to make reservations. You could mobile order, and it's usually less expensive than the table service restaurants. Some of my favorite quick service locations that I would choose over a lot of the table service include Katsura Grill, which is in the Japan section of Epcot, Regal Eagle Smokehouse, which is in the America section of Epcot, Docking Bay 7 at Hollywood Studios. This is one of the best places ever. Really well themed, usually good for people that are on special diets, particularly vegetarian. And also you can just sit down. It feels like a restaurant. Similar to that is the Thule Canteen at Animal Kingdom, another place with just fantastic, interesting food options, mobile order, skip the lines, feels so good inside there, and food's delicious. Captain Cook's, which is at the Polynesian. We love the nachos there. Primo Piatto. I told you I like the food at the Riviera, and Primo Piatto is the quick service there. And then finishing off the list at Disney Springs with Deluxe Burger and Polite Pig. And Polite Pig might be the best quick service at Disney World, and it is the best value of a quick service credit if you happen to be on the Disney dining plan. And if you are in the central part of Disney Springs, Polite Pig is pretty convenient because of its location. Deluxe Burger is not too far away, but those are both really great spots in Disney Springs. Number 4, I think that there should be one non-park day for every 2 park days. Now, I know a lot of people, when they go to Disney World, they want to just hit the ground running and go, go, go. I know it is expensive, and I know that most people think that they need to make the most of every minute. But in terms of keeping everybody's energy and spirits positive through the end of the trip, you really, I think, have to look at it more like a marathon, unless you have a very short trip, in which case it is indeed a sprint. But if you have a longer trip, like let's say, 6+ days, then I think having a day off will help re-energize people. And that doesn't mean you have to just sit in the hotel room. You could go swimming, you could meander Disney Springs, but something that's just fewer steps, maybe less hot, etc., that will kind of recharge you so you can go back into some more park days. That's my favorite. And number 5, I think Food and Wine Festival is the worst of all the Epcot festivals. It is the most popular, and I don't really understand it, other than I honestly think the name makes it popular because people are like, yeah, I want to eat and drink, let's go. But all of the festivals have these offerings. It's just not in the name. So I think some people don't know, especially the locals that really turn out for Food and Wine Festival. Each of the 4 Epcot festivals takes place at a different time of year, and each has a unique theme, but they all have food booths. They call them something different, but they all have food booths. They all have entertainment. So for Festival of the Arts, there's Broadway performers. For Flower and Garden Festival, there's Garden Rocks concerts. For Food and Wine, there's Eat to the Beat series. And for Festival of the Holidays, there's Candlelight Processional. They all have scavenger hunts. They all have food passport strolls. So all of the festivals are similar in many ways, but Food and Wine Festival is when people show up. But during Food and Wine Festival, it is not only really busy, which is a big deterrent to me, especially on the weekends. That's when you're really going to find it to be busiest. But also, the food to me isn't as good as the other festivals. Plus, it's during hurricane season. It's right in the middle of hurricane season. So, a lot of times the weather is a big factor in terms of rain and heat. But what we really like is really all the other festivals we like more. But Flower and Garden Festival is the other big one because Food and Wine Festival is 3 months, Flower and Garden Festival is 3 months, and it's so much better. Like the food is better, the weather is better, and Epcot is never more beautiful than it is during Flower and Garden Festival. So I don't know how many people are choosing their trip based on the Epcot Festival, but I think if you are, that I wouldn't choose it during Food and Wine. There's just a lot to like about the other festivals. We do have a comparison graphic to show you what to expect at each festival. So if you're going, you'll know what is being offered during that time of year so that you can check that out. And I'll link that in the description. So those are my hot takes. What are yours? Do you agree with any of mine? Or do you have some that you would like to add? I would love to hear them down in the comments. Thanks for watching.